Hello and welcome to Brave Souls Rewind.
Byakuya Week.
Byakuya Week. Sorry about that. Where I'll be taking a different Byakuya every day of the week and figuring out which builds are still viable, if any. Now at this point you're thinking one of two things. Wow, this guy needs to get a consistent intro. Or yay, White Day Byakuya. For those of you thinking the second part, yes, we are doing White Day Byakuya. Now for this guy, I decided to start off with a normal attack damage build, much like the other ones. And I wasn't expecting anything too crazy, but I was expecting something a little more than I got. Don't get me wrong, the damage output was alright, I was not bothered by it. Obviously it helped that I had an attribute and killer advantage, but the damage isn't my complaint. My real complaint for this build is the poor range. And yes, he does have long reach, but it's hard to tell, mostly because the roses just landed in front of him. And although the reach is a little better than the game makes it out to be, it's still very hard to tell, and I ended up taking a lot of damage because I couldn't figure out how close I needed to be. So unless you want to really take the time to get used to the range on the mat of this character, I'm gonna say this build is not a viable build. Next, we have the strong attack damage build, a build I was really rooting for. I like White Day Byakuya's strong attacks, and I think they have decent range. Not amazing range like some of the other characters, but definitely better than a lot of the OG characters. Unfortunately, I was left disappointed. His damage output wasn't that great, although it was pretty good, but once you used him up, you were stuck with having to wait, which sucks. Especially when your NAD's kind of bad. And as I mentioned earlier, his strong attack range is good, but not great, so if you miss, you're just gonna have to wait to kill the enemy. And while his link does help, it's not enough to make this a viable build. Lastly, we have a strong attack recharge build. With Byakuya having that same link, you would think this is a great build, and you would be right. In fact, I found that this build was way better than the other two combined, which I know is hard to measure, but shut up. Seriously though, I really did like this build, mostly because I really wasn't having to resort to use my normal attacks, which is a shame because they do look pretty cool, but as I mentioned earlier, they suck. Still though, the damage output was not bad, the range was good, and the Martin was happy, so I'm gonna say this is definitely a viable build. Even good enough to use in some of the recent raids. So I'm gonna say this Byakuya is okay to use. Provided of course that you have some sort of strong attack recharge. Maybe a hybrid of strong attack recharge and strong attack damage. After all, that Frenzy Yoroichi is coming out soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel. And stay tuned for tomorrow's rewind.